students. Hope you have gone through our first video. In continuation to that, let me present some more questions to you. Okay, let us start. First question. Equal masses of a gas X and oxygen were present in a closed vessel at 2.5 degrees centigrade. The partial pressure of oxygen was found to be 5/6 times of the total pressure. The molar mass of the gas X in gram per mole. So this question is related to the Dalton's law of partial pressures. You know the statement states that in a mixture of non-reacting gases, the total pressure exerted is equal to the sum of the partial pressures. Let Px and PO2 represent the partial pressures of X and O2 respectively. Then P will be is equal to Px plus PO2. Here it is found that the partial pressure of oxygen is 5/6. Therefore, the partial pressure of X will be 1/6. Okay. Then partial pressure is related to the concentration. Partial pressure P is equal to CRT, where C is the concentration. So concentration is given by N by V, where N is the number of moles, V is the volume. Therefore, let us go to the answer. So P is equal to N1 RT by V, PB is equal to N2 RT by V, because CRT N by V is the concentration. Then since Vt and R are all constants, Pa by Pb is equal to N1 by N2. You take the ratio Pa by B. Then N1 number of moles is equal to weight divided by molecular weight. Here equal weights are taken, therefore both of them are W. So W by M1 divided by W by M2 is equal to M2 by M1. So Pa by Pb is equal to M2 by M1. Substituting 5/6 for Pa, 1.6 for Pb. Molecular mass of oxygen is 32, therefore substitute as 32. M2 is equal to 160. Okay, now let us go to this next question. At constant temperature, a bulb A of volume 100 ml containing an ideal gas connected to another evacuated bulb B. The pressure fell down to 40% of its initial pressure. The volume of the bulb B. So here it is a pressure volume relationship. That means the problem can be worked out by using the formula P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So that Pb is the original pressure. Then 40% of its initial, the pressure fell down to 40%. Therefore 40 P by 100 is the P2. V1 is equal to 100. That V2 be the new volume. This V2 will be sum of the initial volume, sum of 100 plus the volume. Therefore, we have to work out the problem like this. So 100 ml is the V1. P1 is equal to P, P2 is equal to 40% of P. Then P2. Then P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. And you will get V2 as 250. This includes the original initial volume of 100. Therefore, the answer is 150 ml. Okay. Thank you. Next one. The compressibility factor Z of 1 mole of 100 watts gas with a negligible A value. The A value is given as negligible. And what is compressibility factor? You may be heard about the ideal gas equation. For 1 mole it is PV is equal to RT. PV is equal to RT is the ideal gas equation. Then take the ratio PV by RT. It will be equal to 1. But this will be 1 only for an ideal gas. It is an original gas, a real gas, it will be either greater than 1 or less than 1. So compressibility factor Z is equal to PV by RT. So PV by RT is this. So in the case of an original gases or real gases, we take the van der Waals equation of state as P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to RT for 1 mole. From that, let's go for the answer. So this is the van der Waals equation, P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to RT. Here A is considered to be taken to be 0. Therefore, this is kept as 0, P into V minus B is equal to RT. Then PV minus PB is equal to RT divided by RT, PV by RT minus BP by RT. RT by RT is equal to 1, PV by RT is equal to Z. So substituting the value, Z is equal to 1 plus BP by RT is the answer. Okay. Next one, an aqueous solution of glucose containing 60 gram glucose. Its formula is C6H12O6 per liter has an osmotic pressure of 5.2 bar at 300 Kelvin. The concentration of the glucose solution having osmotic pressure of 1.3 bar at the same temperature is. So here osmotic pressure is defined as the minimum pressure that must be applied on the solution side to prevent the entry of the solvent into solution. So minimum pressure applied on the solution side is given by an equation phi is equal to CRT, where pi is the osmotic pressure, C is the concentration. As indicated earlier, concentration is equal to number of moles by volume, N by V. Okay, let us go for the answer. So pi is equal to CRT. This is the concentration. R C is equal to N by V. V is 1. Therefore, pi is equal to nRT. Pi is equal to nRT. So, N is the molecular weight. In the case of glucose, weight taken is 60 gram. Molecular weight is calculated from the formula C6H12O6. So 12 into 6, then 1 into 12 plus 16 into 6, that will be 180. So number of moles is equal to 1 by 3 mole. So pi is equal to CRT. Now let us compare this one. Pi 1 C1 is C1 RT. Pi 2 is equal to C2 RT, taking the ratio C1 by C2. It actually C1 is equal to N1 by N2. So C2 is equal to 1 by 12. 5.2 is the pressure, 5.2 bar and 1.3 bar. Substituting that value, we get the C2 as 1 by 12. Okay. Now let us go for the next one. 13th question. A solution contains 4 gram of NaOH and 16.2 gram of water. The mole fraction of solute and solvent are respectively. We have to calculate the mole fraction. What is the formula for mole fraction? Number of moles of one component divided by total number of moles of all components. If Na is the number of moles of A, mole fraction of Na is given by Psi A is equal to Na by Na plus Nb. Mole fraction is calculated by weight divided by molecular weight. Here, in the case of NaOH, the molecular weight is 40. Therefore, 4 by 40. 1 by 10.1 is the number of moles. For water, it is 16.2 gram. Therefore, 16.2 divided by 18. That is the coming to the calculations. Mole fraction is the ratio of number of moles of the component in the solution to the total number of moles of all the components. Okay. Then number of moles of A is equal to 0.1. Number of moles, that is sodium hydroxide. 40 is the molecular weight. 16.2 by 18 is the water, 0.9 moles. Therefore, X is equal to 0.1 divided by 0.1 plus 0.9 is 1, therefore 0.1. X gives psi A and something like that. So psi A is equal to Na by Na plus Nb, psi B is equal to Nb by Na plus Nb. So that is the answer. Let us go for the next one. What is the IUPAC official name of the element with atomic number 110? So we know that the National Union of Pure and Applied Chemists suggests name for new elements. So what is this a new element? Answer is 110 is Darmstadt chip. This is from German. But recently, the year 2019 has been celebrated as the 150th anniversary of periodic table. There are 4 new elements. IUPAC names were suggested for all these. So let us go. I will give you the details regarding that because I think that question will come from that part also. So today there are 118 elements in the periodic table. 4 elements with atomic number 113, 115, 117, and 118 were added recently to the periodic table in the year 2019. The element 113, nihonium, is the first element discovered by scientists from an Asian country, namely Japan. Nihon means the land of rising sun. Then 115, Moscovium, is based on the name of Moscow from Russia. Then tennessine is the name for the element 117, recognizing the contribution of the University of Tennessee at US in the research of super heavy elements. Name for the element 118 is organozone, in recognition of the contribution of the Russian scientist Yuri Gagarin in the field of super heavy element research. Then strontium is a place in Germany where the element was discovered. We know that there are 118 elements in the periodic table. The last period also got completed with this. So, let us start a new period. At present it seems to be completed in all respects. Okay. The next question is the increasing order of electronegativity of 3 elements: oxygen, fluorine, sodium. What is electronegativity? It is the power of an atom to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself in a bonded pair. Okay. So we know that electronegativity increases from left to right of the periodic table. It also decreases from top to bottom. Okay. So if you see the periodic table, we can predict which is the most electronegative and which is the least electronegative element. So in the second period, fluorine is at this end, no other element is there. Therefore, fluorine is the most electronegative element. Oxygen is next to fluorine, therefore its value is 3.5, however it is having higher periodic electronegativity is 3.5. But sodium is in the next period, third period. And it is to the extreme left, therefore its value will be low. Value is only 0.9. So the increasing order is sodium, then comes oxygen, then comes fluorine with the highest value. Okay. So when we complete this one,